Hi everyone! So for my CURES final project, I decided to create a resource for young cancer patients who are undergoing chemotherapy treatment. My goal for this resource is to help kids understand what happens to them during chemo and why these things happen. I do this by explaining concepts that have been discovered through research in ways that I hope kids will understand. So the resource that I've created is a comic book slash graphic novel for kids to read. Each page was drawn, outlined, colored in, shaded, and writing was added. So the entire process took a lot of work. But as you can see, the book is called Mighty Madden and the Chemo Molecule. And the story revolves around an 8-year-old boy who was recently diagnosed with cancer. And because of his cancer, he is unable to do his most favorite thing in the world, which is go to school. So along with his sidekick, the chemo molecule, Madden does his best to fight his cancer and get well so he can go back to school. So basically what I plan to do is just go through a few pages with you guys and basically just explain what's going on and the message that I hope the readers get. So the first few pages kind of walk through Madden's very first chemo treatment. It involves him exploring the oncology room and getting used to new things like needles. This is also where Madden first meets Nurse Julie. She's the pediatric oncology nurse that tries to stay with Madden as much as she can throughout most of his treatments. She is also the one that gives him his cape and reminds him that he is a superhero who can do anything. Therefore, she names him Mighty Madden. This is also where Madden first meets his chemo molecule. The chemo molecule appears during all of Madden's treatments and answers questions that Madden might have about the cancer and the chemo. Overall, the molecule is there to provide encouragement and support for Madden. At the end of his first treatment, the chemo molecule explains to Madden that he has a support system and that everyone is going to help him fight this cancer. From his mom to Nurse Julie to his entire family at home, everyone there is there to help him. Madden even ends up asking his mom if he can bring his dad and his little sister to his next treatment so he can show them the oncology room as well. During his second chemo treatment, Madden is accompanied by both his parents and his little sister. And he also ends up meeting a little girl named Gwen, who is also there for chemo treatments. But Gwen has already lost her hair during her chemo. This allows Nurse Julie to explain to Madden how and why your hair falls out during chemo. At this time, Madden also talks to his chemo molecule about how he's sad about missing school. And the molecule reminds him that he needs to rest and take care of himself if he wants to get better and eventually go back to school. By his next chemo treatment, Madden's hair has fallen out and he's beginning to feel weak and tired. The chemo molecule explains to him that sometimes there are bad days and that's okay. We don't need to be a superhero every single day. Madden agrees and decides to hand over his cape to his little sister Amy and allows her to be the superhero for that day. During his next chemo treatment, Madden arrives with his mom to find that the doctor wants to speak to him. To his surprise, the doctor decides to clear him for school for half a day twice a week, as long as Madden promises to continue to take care of himself and to keep coming back for his next chemo treatments. Of course, Madden is very excited, as this was his goal the entire time. The book ends with Madden standing outside of his school saying, "I did it." Of course, Madden's journey isn't over. He still has to keep fighting, but the small achievement is exactly what Madden wanted and exactly what he needed to keep going. I think that this book can be used as a resource for young cancer patients to help them understand concepts like why they can't go to school and why they may feel sick on some days, but also to show them that they do have a support system of people to help them, and it is okay to have bad days where you might need to hand over your cape to somebody else. And also to show them that these small achievements, like getting cleared for school, are just as important as the big ones. So I've had this book reviewed by a child life specialist, an early childhood educator, various healthcare workers, and even some older pediatric cancer survivors, along with my family and friends who have given me their input and suggestions on ways to improve the book. I've taken most of their suggestions into consideration when finalizing the book, but unfortunately, I am still waiting on some feedback from a few of them. Regardless, I do feel like this book is a good resource to use in hospitals and cancer centers. And I do have a PDF version of the comic book that I will post for you guys to check out. I hope you guys like it. Thank you.